Hello! Well, there's another windy one out there, and I'm just finishing up, buttoning up my exhausts with some extra goop on them, and they should seal, hopefully. At least a lot better than they were sealing. So I had a horrible time yesterday where it took till, because I was using the GoPro, yeah, it took till 9:15 just to upload the files to Windows Movie Maker. Then I was there till 11:30 editing and doing all that stuff, and then I sent it off to save the movie, as you do. Came down in the morning at 6 o'clock or whatever, and it refused to save it. It was saying, no, we can't do that for you, thank you very much. So I then spent another 3 or 4 hours, done that one? Yeah, done that one. I then spent another 3 or 4 hours taking out all sorts of music and everything I put in to see what was causing it to not work, and looking on Google to see what was the cause of it all, and all that bloody palaver. Still completely failed. So in the end I concluded that for some reason the GoPro stuff was not palatable, although it has been in the past. So I took out all the GoPro stuff, which is all the nice stuff of it running and me tuning it and all sorts of goodness, and it copied. So now I'm trying to convert the GoPro MP4 to MKV to see if I can then reload them and edit them all over again. Oh, I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, that's the end of my grumble for today. A bit nervous about these ones that screw into an aluminium cylinder head. But so far seems to be quite good. So I haven't got a lot done today. Really? Oh, I see why that was sticking out, because it's catching on the bloody block. That's why that one wasn't mating up properly. If that leaks again, that's why it is. It's because it's catching on the block. I remember that now. There's a little overhang. I want to get that with the torch. Never, ever, ever know where my torch is. What was I doing with it? I was looking in the ports. Let's shut the camera off. Yep, I've just realised why they were all leaking. So I've got to take them all off again, scrape off all the exhaust spooge, and there's an overhang on the block compared to the head, and the manifold plate is just long enough to catch the overhang, and that's why it's, because I've skimmed the heads, it's now lower than it was before, and it's now catching that, and it's not tightening up onto the head face at either end at all. So that's why it was leaking like a bastard. So I've got to take it all apart again. Oh, what fun! So this whole video experience of doing a diary every day has turned out not to be the smoothest sailing in the planet, but hey, it's worth a try, and it's a bit of a challenge, that's for sure. I don't know. Now you can see a little focus. You see that little step just there. So this is the face we're trying to attach ourselves as a pointer. Where's that pointer? Okay. This here is the face we're trying to clamp onto. You can see that the spooge isn't compressed at all, because right there is where the edge of the manifold is dug in, and it's held a couple of mil away. And it does the same on this one. I don't know if this will show. But you can just see just there where it's dug in, and that's where it really can go then. So I think I'm going to get my die grinder and just whiz that little shelf off, tape up the port, and remove it once and for all. Epoxy thing. Okay, that's those die grinded out, as you can see. That should now clear nicely. Just there. Perfecto. Let's put the manifolds back on yet again. I wonder if this spooge is still spoochy enough. Feels quite flexible. I might get away with just a little bit more on top. That'd be nice. Alrighty, back from lunch, and oh, we're on super zoom, I think. Ooh, there we go. Back from lunch, and what have I done so far? Well, so far today, I have taken off the exhaust system, gooped it all up with goop, put it all back together again, realised my mistake, and taken it apart again and gooped it up again, well, filed off those bits of aluminium, gooped it up again, and that's it. Put it back together again. Seems to be alright. I'm hoping it's alright. I'll find out when I start it up again. But I've checked the timing, I've checked the cams alright yesterday, all that stuff, and we've checked the extraction system, so that's all working well. So the next mission, I thought, was let's cure that over-advancing front distributor, because 41 degrees odd ain't going to wash, especially on a 11.6 to 1 compression ratio on propane, where you need less advance at the top end, although you then need more advance on vacuum, so you sort of end up with, instead of say 30 degrees on petrol, you end up with something like 25 degrees, 28 degrees. But then on vacuum you tend to end up with a bit more, so say at tick over you tend to have, instead of say 8 degrees on the compression I've got, you might have 12, 13. So you gain a bit and you lose a bit, but I still think that 41 degrees a tick over is ridiculous. So it's adding, I mean I had 13 static, like I said yesterday, that's adding, completely forgotten now, 13 from 41, 31, 28. So it's adding 28. Holy moly. So, what we're trying to do is, I'm trying to limit the movement of them. Let me get a little screwdriver and move that back and forwards. What we're trying to do is we're trying to limit the movement of this. A little bit just here. It moves like that. So that's travelling too far. Now I had an idea of putting something on here that would jam up against the case, but because it's so diagonal, I think that's more like to jam than stop it. I was wondering what else I could do. I wonder if I could slide a piece of tube down it. If I slid a piece of tube down it, it would clear the sides. So that looks like it's quite hard up against that bit just there. Zoom in. Is that still focusing? Yeah. I think this here is quite hard up against the case. There. So what else can I do to stop that moving? Oh, I know what I can do. If you look down below that silver canister, you can see that moving. I could drill a hole in this back plate here, tap it and put a little screw in, and then I could change the size of the head of the screw to change the amount of advance I've got. In fact, if I've got 27 or 28 degrees, I know I want about half that, so I could just half that distance. I could put it in here as well. Okay, I'm going to go away and work that out. Measure up how much movement I've got, halve it, and then stick a screw in that's going to take that away. Back in a minute. Okay, I've made a mark where it was. I don't know if you can see it. I'll zoom in now. Made a mark on the back plate, just there. Made a mark to line up with it just there. Then I moved the plate with my screwdriver and made another mark just there. And the distance between those two marks was our total advance. I then measured the diameter of the cap. Okie dokie. So if these are our two measurements, then if we go 69 times 3.14, that'll give us a circumference. Okay, that gives us 216.66. And then if we go 216.66 divided by 360 equals, oops, 0.6 millimeter per degree. So if we then take our 5.63 divided by 0.6, 9.38 degrees total movement. That's distributor degrees, so crank degrees will be double that, times 2 equals 18.7. Well, that's not 27, isn't it? So I reckon we're gaining 7 degrees on the centrifugal, which means the centrifugal's coming in a touch too low. Because 20 odd degrees is fairly normal vacuum advance. So maybe I need to pop the back plate off and put a bigger centrifugal spring in that distributor. Actually, I'll start it up and we'll do a run up, and I'll graph the distributor curves. Back in a minute. Let's see whether my exhausts sound a bit better now. Whoops. Fans are on. Not sure how much battery we've got in actually. That's a bit quieter. probe on there. Well, it looks like we've got a leak. Underneath one of those rubber inlets. And we've also still got a very slight popping at the back of this manifold. Just a slight one. So, I'll fix that leak, and I think we're making some progress. We're so much quieter in here now. I did that distributor timing, and with it down around about 600 RPM, I then got the timing figures I was looking for. So it looks like it's advancing a little bit too fast. So a lot heavier spring in that one. And yeah, I think I want to still check the cam phasing, or not the cam phasing, the rotor arm phasing, because I don't think that should have been backfiring so easily as it was, and it still pops and spits now and again. I think that might be down to cam phasing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to time the car up at what have we got? We've got 25 plus 20, 45 degrees is our maximum advance. So I'll time it up on that on number 1, mark where the distributor arm is, then time it up on its most, I'm going to say most lowest advance, and mark that on the distributor, and then see where we are with relation to the rotor arm on number 1. So that's what I'm going to do next, I think. Hello! Okay, so I've worked out what 45 degrees is in length on the pulley, cut out a bit of masking tape, and stooshed it on there. Yes, I'm going to look for my... Oh, there it is! Amazing! Stooshed it on there, and I don't know if you can see that. Let's get that out of the way. See that bit of masking tape on there? So that's 45 degrees long from top dead centre. And I've also marked on it 5 degrees is my minimum I'll ever use. So then I've marked up where the pole on the cap is, and on 45 degrees, there's our arm, there's our mark. That's not looking too bad at all. But that's interesting because now I'm going to put it on 5 degrees, and that means it's going to have to be a fair way away from that mark. Let's see what happens. Yes, I'm back again. So there's the mark we want to go for, and with the car timed up on, you probably can't see that, but any road up, it's timed up on 5 degrees. You can see there's where we want to spark to, and there's our rotor arm, and there's our next pin. So the question is there any chance that if that's much harder to spark to, is it easier to spark to over there? It doesn't look as horrific as I thought it might be, and I'm thinking if I could get a rotor arm that comes round like that, sort of hammerhead backwards, then I'd be covered. So I think I might try and see if I can get one of those. I know they're out there, but I don't know if they're out there for a clockwise. Time will tell. But that's quite an interesting experiment. Ta-ta!